Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Time again for another session with the older man. So today we're going to talk about the Philippines. Yes. My last video I did with the 3 ladies enticing you guys to come to the Philippines has been an amazing hit. And some of you have referred me to the Filipina P, which is a really cool channel. So I've been approached by a few other ladies in the Philippines who have channels who would love me to do a collab with them. So that's something I'm considering. And listen, guys, look forward to that coming up. But in the meantime, there's been a ton of men sending me information. So what do you think? Oh man, I'm ready to move. Because these ladies did a real good sales job on a lot of you guys.
Because no one will take care of her anymore. Because everything disappear.
And even if she go rich, like if she's rich, what's she gonna do with her money, right? You have no family, you don't have kids,
No
you're
one will
gonna be
support.
lonely.
It will just go. If you'll keep spending money, you'll turn back to zero and be.
Yeah.
You're pretty now, but sooner or later you'll be ugly.
Oh, yeah.
That's reality. That's reality. You know.
So, yeah, listen, man. What it tells me is that men are so fed up with Western women that they're willing to just jump ship. And you guys are willing to look at the next best thing anywhere else in the world. That made me want to say, hey, slow down. Moving to a new country isn't freaking easy. Trust me, I've done it. I've moved from the Cayman Islands to Dubai. And during the course of this video, I'm going to try to share with you some of the pitfalls and some of the mind shifts that have to occur when you move into a different culture. Not just country, culture. That's the shocker. That's the stuff that gets to you. All right? So with that said, listen, guys, subscribe. Hit the old subscription button and notification bell thumbs up as well on this video so that the algorithm can share this video with a lot more people. All right, so I'm going to support the Filipina P here with her video because I think she did a very good job of breaking down not only moving to the Philippines, but you can apply the same principles that she's explaining in this video to other countries that you intend to move to. So to all of my passport bros, those gentlemen that looking to just say, hey, I've done my time in the West. I want to get the hell out, especially if you haven't lived in a country outside the Western Hemisphere. Things are significantly different. Not retiring to the Philippines.
Hi folks, the Filipina P here. And as I often say, the Philippines isn't for everyone because there's no magical paradise or universal nirvana. If there was, everyone would be there already. Prices would be sky high, the women would all be taken, and you'd be looking somewhere else. You might have this fantasy image of the Philippines in your head, a place that's filled with gorgeous single women, where the prices are so cheap, they're almost giving things away. And maybe you've heard that the food is amazing, and it's the perfect place to retire. Well, the beautiful women part is true, but the rest is highly debatable. So if you're thinking of making the Philippines your future home, I strongly suggest that you do not retire here until you watch this video, because I'm going to point out the things you need to be aware of and can accept before you make the move. In other words, I'm going to tell you why you do not want to retire in the Philippines.
So one thing she said that really stood out for me in that intro. If a place was absolutely perfect and it was nirvana, it was the Garden of Eden, if it was just amazing, every single individual in the world would just flock there. And what would happen? Like the Cayman Islands, this is what happened. Everybody flew there. Everybody went to this tax haven in the Caribbean, low crime rate, nice low cost of living. It was the best beaches, the best bars, the modern economy. Everything was good. It's British owned. That means the politics was solid, right? And what happened? Everybody flocked there. All the extreme rich saw this little jewel in the middle of the Caribbean. What happened? Prices just went. Not even the locals can afford to live a good, moderate life there anymore. That's what happens to a jewel. That's what happens to any place that is incredibly great. What she's saying is, if the Philippines was perfect, that's what would happen. The demand would go up, and in turn, prices would go up. And you would literally not see it as a benefit. Everybody would stop seeing it as an economic viability to actually move there. So that should immediately trigger all of you gentlemen's brains whenever you're thinking about moving to a particular country or into a particular culture. You have to understand that you're going to be giving up something to get something else. Makes sense, right? Okay, let's keep listening.
So my first advice is not to even consider retiring here if you haven't thoroughly researched the Philippines. By watching videos like this one from people who actually live here and are willing to tell it like it is. You can watch documentaries about the Philippines all day long, but if they're not going to show you the bad along with the good, then they're useless as far as giving you an accurate picture of what your life will be like once you're here. In fact, not only should you research the place, you really should live here for at least a few months, preferably a lot longer if you can manage it.
Yes. First, listen, man. I came over to Dubai with my wife. We stayed for 2 weeks. Now, I had been here before, so I knew about it. I've had business partners here before. So I got a taste of what it was like, but my wife had no idea. So when I brought her over, I showed her all the glamour and the glitz. And of course, she's like, yes, let's go. But it was kind of deceptive, right? I mean, it worked out great in the end. She loves it here. Dubai is an exception for sure. But I'm going to get into some of the issues that we had when we first moved. I did my research before I moved. And she also understood that, hey, my husband is smart enough to know not to put his family in danger. Okay, I'm going to rely on him as well. So she understood, hey, this is the glitz and glamour. And financially, we were okay. That was it. But you guys have to be very careful. And I like how she points this out here.
Because many of the following things I'm going to talk about won't become apparent right away. When you visit a new place, everything that's different from your home can seem quaint or cute at first. And you'll say silly things like, oh look, they ride these cool little tricycles. But after a month, you'll be looking at the exact same thing and yelling, get that damn thing off the road if you can't go faster than that. You need to be here long enough to throw away the rose-colored glasses and see things as they really are.
This, my friend, is called the honeymoon period. It's the same thing that occurs when you meet a new woman and she's cute. Oh, she's so sweet. And her little weird giggle. Oh, that's so cute. And after 6 months of and everything you say, it starts to become bloody annoying, right? It's the honeymoon period. 10 years into that, you just want to freaking... You get my point. I'm trying to keep it YouTube friendly, but you get my point. Every single thing, including the country, has the honeymoon period, where it's cute until it's no longer cute. So she's right.
So in no particular order, here are the reasons you might want to rethink your permanent destination. Now, this is probably the biggest and most obvious thing, but don't retire to the Philippines if you can't afford it. I've done several budget videos, talked to hundreds of expats, and I feel very comfortable in saying that if you don't want to struggle financially, you really need a minimum of about $1,000 to $1,200 per month for the rest of your life. Any less than that, and you might find yourself in trouble. Maybe that budget was fine when you got here.
Be careful about getting into that figure, because if you are in a fixed income, let's say you're retired and that's your social security. I think that's what we don't have social security in my country or this country. So I have very limited knowledge on how it works, but I do understand that you are on a fixed income. The government's paying you back a fixed amount every month. The problem is inflation is a nasty, carnivorous thing that eats in what you used to get for $100 10 years ago. Now you got to pay $200 for the exact same amount of food. The same thing occurs when you go to another country. When I moved from Cayman to here, the Cayman dollar, so that you guys understand, one Cayman dollar is valued $1.20. 20 US. So you understand it's a very strong currency. Now, 1 US dollar is 3 dirhams 67 fils, meaning it's a lot stronger. 1 US dollar is very strong here in Dubai. So that means my Cayman dollar is even stronger. I haven't done the conversion, the Cayman dollar to here, but it's even stronger. So when I came here, I was like, wow, this is amazing, man. Everything is so cheap for me. Now I realize we came over 15 years ago, and we came during the economic downturn. So things were really, really down. So my dollar was getting me a lot more because the economy was beaten down. I think it was 2009. I can't remember what economic downturn we had at that point. I've been through too many, right? But the point is that I got carried away because I was thinking, wow, man, everything is cheap. I had a Hummer, not the big one. I had a smaller one because I heard that streets were some of the most dangerous to drive on. And I had young kids and I want to protect my girls. So I got this freaking ridiculous vehicle because I knew it was strong. But I got it at a really good deal from a real estate company who had 5 of them and they went out of business. And so I picked up one for like dirt cheap. But then, you got insurance, you got maintenance and all of that crap on these stupid vehicles. But that's not my point. My point is I could have gotten a normal car for half the price and saved that money. But because I'm thinking, oh, it's so cheap. Because I came from a country where you would have paid almost double the price for that same vehicle. So in my head, I'm getting a good deal. Over here, they're a dime a dozen. So you end up spending stupid money on something that you didn't really need to spend that money on because you were just thinking about the conversion. Same thing. I stayed on Palm Jumeirah, one of the most expensive areas in Dubai to stay. Stayed there for 4 years. I didn't have to. But in my head, wow, this is a great deal to stay in an awesome location. Now at that point, the kids were young. Didn't have to spend a lot of money on them. But imagine if I was on a fixed income, I didn't have a job in this country. Then as the kids grew older and school got more expensive and the economy rebounded, guess what happened? Prices started to suck my income. So a lot of my savings, a lot of money, my investments, I had to go, shit, I'm digging into money that I didn't intend to spend until I'm way later in my years, okay? So you have to understand, don't get stupid when you go into a cheaper country. You need to start thinking in their dollars, in their currency, in their pesos. Ask yourself, is this expensive for them? If it is expensive for them, think about it, it's expensive for you. Don't start converting in your head, oh, that's only like 200 euro. Oh, that's only like $50. No, think like them. That's my best advice to you. Think like the locals when it comes to money. If it's expensive for the locals, it's expensive for you, regardless if you can buy it easily, because it will catch up on you, my friends. Let's proceed.
But after a few years, you added responsibilities and expenses, like a wife, kids, maybe a lot of pets. Your income didn't grow, but your expenditures did. And now you're stretched to the breaking point. I could spend a whole video talking about budget, but instead, I'll just say make sure you have sufficient income and assets to sustain yourself, because there are no safety nets here. You're on your own. Related to that, here's a big one that many foreigners just don't seem to get through their heads until it's too late. Don't come here to get a job or start a business. I cannot tell you how many expats have informed me that they're gonna supplement their income by working or opening some kind of business, and they get all excited when they tell me about their plans. Now you guys are full of great ideas, and maybe you've got plenty of experience, but opening a car rental place, a home furnishing store, or an art gallery where you can sell your own masterpieces just isn't gonna fly here, especially outside the big cities. You'll end up drowning in red tape. Your suppliers will be out of supplies most of the time. Your employees won't show up for work. And most importantly, your customers have no money. There's just no demand for anything besides the basics. You'll notice that almost every foreigner that tries to start a business here ends up opening a restaurant, a bar, a sari-sari store, or a laundromat. And there's a good reason for that. Because even Filipinos need to eat, drink, and wash.
I always say to anybody looking to open a business, anywhere, go digital. Do not look at opening physical locations anywhere you go, gentlemen. You have to have a digital-based business. You have to have clients and customers coming in from every corner of the earth. Do not ever open up a physical location as an expat unless you are seriously involved with a local who understands the culture and who's also a business person. Not your wife's friend who she tells you about, oh, he has this great idea. Is he a businessman? Is he a business person? If the answer is no, no. Because Tommy down the street, he has this great idea, but he has no money and you got to put up all of the risk, your money, and he don't know what the hell he's talking about when it comes to business, you're screwed. Don't do it. Digitalize your world. That is the only way you should supplement your income. Go online. I don't care what you do. That's a whole other video. But the point is, do not try to open a physical location. It is, like she said, a sure way to fail. Because the locals will always have an advantage over you. And if they see a good idea being born, you're screwed.
The problem is, if it's a success, the locals are gonna copy you. And you'll wake up one morning to find a laundromat next door to yours and another one on the corner. Competition will drive the prices and profits down so far that everyone loses. Unfortunately, I've seen it many times and the vast majority of the businesses fail. And as far as working for someone else, no way, no how, not a chance. Spend a month in the Philippines and tell me how many foreigners you see behind the counter. 0. So please don't count on making any money while you're here. It's not nearly as easy as it is in the West. And since you can't earn anything, that means you need to have your finances already in order. But let's say the money part isn't a problem. You've got it figured out, and it won't be an issue. Well, there's still a lot of things here to test your patience, which brings up the topic of patience. A big factor in determining the chances of your being able to tolerate it here long term is your personality. If you're type A, who gets impatient and frustrated over the little things, do not retire to the Philippines. You'll be a really bad fit for the lifestyle here, and you'll go absolutely crazy within a few months. The bureaucracy, the lines, the inefficiency, the unwillingness to replace outdated systems, and just the general slow pace of life here is enough to send many would-be expats straight back to the airport. The culture is one of those things that might seem charming at first, but do you really want to live in a rerun of Green Acres for the rest of your life? Heaven for some, hell for others. And another reason why you want to visit here for as long as you can before pulling the trigger on your retirement plans. So if you're the kind of guy that just can't keep his temper from boiling over when he's told his car won't be repaired till next month, or maybe the month after, then don't even consider it. Just stay in a modern first world country. And for those of you that think you can bring your life with you, please do not retire in the Philippines, because it ain't gonna happen. Even if you have the money to do it, living a Western lifestyle just isn't possible in most places here because some things aren't available at any price. If you want carpeting in your place, think again. If you want central AC or a hot water heater that services the whole house, good luck with that. If you expect to be able to call a plumber and have him come out immediately to fix the water gushing from beneath your sink, then you're better off investing in a life raft than waiting for him to show up. That is, if you can even find a number for a plumber. Good luck with that too, because it's not about the money. And the same thing is true of utilities. Don't retire here if you need reliable water, internet, and electricity, because chances are you won't get them. no matter what your budget can afford. Depending on where you live, especially outside a city, your power can literally go off several times a week for hours at a time, and sometimes the whole day. So unless you have access to a solar power system or a generator, which most people don't, there are times you're going to be absolutely miserable. Just imagine sitting inside your house, which quickly becomes hotter than an oven in the Philippine sun, with nothing to do but count the beads of sweat rolling down your face. You try to cool off by taking a shower, but your water is fed by a pump, which is also without power. So there's no water either. If you think this scenario is far-fetched or infrequent, you haven't lived in the Philippines long enough. But what you might not understand is that it can literally take you several hours to find the food you want, because the first store you go to isn't gonna have what you need. Just looking for low-fat milk, eggs, Coke Zero? Your chances of finding even half of the stuff you want is far less than the chances of this video being a hit, and that's pretty low. So after you wait for half an hour to pay for the food items you found at the third place you went, you're off to the hardware store, which is only a few blocks away, but will somehow take you another 45 minutes of 2-mile-an-hour traffic to get there and actually find a parking space. But then the fun begins. Because you can't find the right size bulbs to fit the weird lighting fixtures that your landlord installed, and when you ask for assistance, you're told that the guy who knows about light bulbs is gone for the day. You leave the store, all dejected, and notice that it's already getting dark outside, and all you have to show for your efforts is a small bag of Doritos. Not the flavor you wanted, but hey, it's the Philippines.
She's funny, but she's so right. Now, the beautiful thing about Dubai is the absolute opposite. I left an island. Everything has to be imported. Everything takes time. And you know island style, man. Yeah, man, everything. Soon come, soon come. Yeah, soon come. Everything. Yeah, soon. Everything coming, man. All right, man. Soon come, boss. Yeah, man, I come in tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. No, I'll be there tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. So I come from that. So I am already accustomed to what she's talking about. Now I moved to Dubai. It is the freaking complete opposite, right? I remember when I first moved here and I was working in a corporate office for one of my buddies, helping him out with sales. And I had a massive headache and nobody had any aspirins in the office. My secretary said, don't worry, I'll call and get some. I said, what do you mean? She said, oh, they'll deliver it from the pharmacy. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like deliver it? Like they deliver food? Yeah. We'll have it in 25 minutes. I'm like, you kidding me? They will deliver just one bottle of aspirin? She says, yeah, they deliver anything. You want a candy bar? They will deliver it. And I was like, wow. And no kidding, within 20 minutes, I had a bottle of Advil delivered to the office. Yeah. Anything you want here in Dubai, anytime, it is deliverable. Access to anything, any product, anywhere, anytime, anything you want. When she talk about brands, that's the only little thing that kind of throws you off, because American brands, even though they are available, they're only in certain types of stores, the more expensive stores. British, my wife is British. We got to go to a certain British, the Spinneys stores. But you know, you got Carrefour, which is more French. The beautiful thing is we get a variety of good products, not overly saturated with sugar. So that's one thing that I'm thankful for. I get a variety of meats. I get goat from Ethiopia, India, different parts, different countries in Africa that I get goat from. Because I love goat. I love eating curried goat, you know. Instead of just meats from, you know, with places where it's just full of steroids. I get good, solid, wholesome foods. So there are some advantages, you know. So yeah, I know I'm telling you about experiences from here, but my point is that you're going to have this experience wherever you go as an expat. All right, let's just finish up. Let's hear what else she has to say.
And that brings up another thing. Don't retire here if you crave variety. You'll notice that a typical store here has plenty of aisles, but very few choices. You might see a 30-foot long display of cereal, but it's the same two types, Cocoa Krispies and Corn Flakes. They may have lots of product, but it's all the same kind. As I often say, you don't go shopping here to buy what you want. You go shopping here to buy whatever they have. And if you don't like it, you're welcome to go wander the aisles of some other store that's got exactly the same products. And of course, don't retire in the Philippines if you want peace and quiet. You'll need to develop a noise filter, which is really hard for most foreigners. A Filipino can carry on a conversation with a pack of 10 dogs barking non-stop, literally 5 feet away, and not even be aware of them. The noise just doesn't register. Unfortunately, the same thing is true at night when you're trying to sleep, and we still don't notice it. Unless you live by yourself on a huge piece of land, surrounded by a high wall, you're gonna hear more racket than you ever had to endure in your life. If you can't sleep through it, the Philippines is not for you, because complaining about things is a big no-no. Start a loud feud with a neighbor, and although you'll probably win the shouting match, you won't win the war. Trust me, life will suddenly become very difficult for you there, and you'll discover that no one's on your side, even if you're right. But if you can manage to stay on good terms with your neighbors, tolerate all the foolishness and frustration, support yourself with an adequate budget, and embrace the culture here, you might just make it. On the other hand, if you come here thinking you can change the things I've mentioned to make your life more comfortable or more familiar to you, I have bad news for you. You will not change anything about the Philippines. The Philippines will change you. And if you're not adaptable, you're gonna wish you'd never left home.
And I love how she finished that because that's important. You can be a tourist or you can be a traveler. Understand the significant difference between the two. When you're a tourist, you're literally going to experience a country, but you have no interest in changing. When you're a traveler, you're going into that country and you're letting that country change you, your way of thinking, the way of understanding life. That's why it's more important for you to become a traveler than just a tourist. So my friends, if you're looking to get up and become a passport bro, for a lot of you ladies, if you don't understand that, that means the man is deciding to leave, not go and get a woman and bring her back. That's a mail order bride. That is something completely different. Passport bro leaves permanently. He's going to live in another country while he's finding a wife. So if you're going to become a passport bro, you are literally being a traveler. It might not work out in one country. You might just flip to another one. But the point is that you have to be adaptable. You have to adapt to that country. That country will change you. The country won't change for you or the culture. All right, my friends. So listen, go over to the Filipino Peas channel. Give her some love. I love how she displayed that here. I think I'm going to be actually breaking down some other videos of hers because I've seen some other really good information that she shares with men. I think I can add my 2 cents to it from my experience, from my life experiences as well. So guys, give me a thumbs up on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, please. And if you would like to chat with me, book a session on askanolderman.com. So remember guys, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.